today let's try to solve another Leetcode problem, merge intervals. So we are given an array of intervals where intervals I equals to start I and add I. We just need to merge the all overlapping intervals and return an array of the non-overlapping intervals that cover all intervals in the input. So for example, for example 1, like 1, 3 and 2 to 6 can be merged, so it becomes 1, 6, and then we have 1 and 10 and 15 and 18. So this is going to be the result. And for the example 2, 1, 4 and 4, 5, it will be merged. After that, it will be 1 and 5. It means the start and end point can be merged together. Yeah, for this problem, I've already posted the videos for the normal way for solving such problem. Normally, we're gonna sort the intervals as the starting point. After that, we're gonna use a for loop to check if there is overlap. If there is, we're gonna merge it together. If there is no overlap, we're gonna put it into our result. But this kind of method, it can be solved like this way, but it may make mistakes because you may forget some cases, you may forget to append the last one, or inside the overlapping second, you may forget something. Yeah, so today I'm going to talk about a sweep line algorithm for solving such a merge intervals problem. And the sweep lines can solve a lot of different Leetcode problems, especially the Leetcode hard problems. Yeah, so we can use the medium question to practice a new pattern of algorithm like a sweep line. Basically, the sweep line is a mathematics formula, or it is basically it is a mathematics formula. We need to recognize the pattern and then directly use the sweep line. After you get used to that, directly you can use the template to finish it. Yeah, I just let me prepare some. Let me prepare the algorithms inside the whiteboard, and then I will try to code it up in my code editor. So while waiting, I will prepare something for the sweep line problem. So for sweep line, it is a template problem. Yeah, if you are familiar or if you are not familiar, if you need to know why the template works. So after a few questions of practice, you're gonna finish doing it in a few minutes. You don't even need to think about it because the sweep line is really easy to understand and really easy to write the template. You don't even need to think, so you can avoid making any kind of mistakes. Now let me prepare something for the sweep line. Normally, for the sweep line, we have a positive sign and a negative sign for the sweep line. So the template begins like this. So for normally I have an events array. So for each start time and end time, I will say it as an event. So inside the events, I'm going to put the start time and end time into my events. So for S means the start time and E means end time in intervals. Now I'm going to decide whether the start time is positive or the end time is positive. It always depended on the description of the problem, because for and this for means the end for, and this for means the start for. It means the start and end can be merged. So this means how should we sort? Because after the for loop, the events array should be sorted. Yeah, we have to sort the array. So if we want to sort array, we need to decide if there is an overlap like this 4 and 4, because those 2 points are overlap. So if there are overlaps, we need to consider which one will be sorted first at the first place, and which one will be sorted after that. So for us, we need to merge it together. So for me, I'm going to use the start as a negative. So I'm going to put the start always first. Let me draw it in the whiteboard. Maybe you can understand it. Now let me go to the whiteboard. Now let me draw something. So let's use this example. If we have numbers like 1, 4, 4, and 5, yeah, normally we're gonna prepare a line like this is 1 and 4. So 1 is at the start point. We're gonna prepare the start point always be as a negative, and the end point always be positive. So this means this is 1 and 4. So for another one, it is 4 and 5. So 4 and 5, how should we prepare? It also be the same. So this is 4 and 5. So 4 will always be the negative, and 5 will be the positive. It means the start point always be the negative, and the end point always be positive. Why? Because if we are going to sort it, so first 1 with the negative, then it will be 4 with negative. Yeah, here I will put it a negative 1. So the next one will be 4 and negative 1. Yeah, because for the array sorting, this is the first index, it is 1, 4. But for the second, it also be the same. The smaller should always be at the first. After that, it's gonna be 4 and positive 1. And after that, it will be 5 and positive 1. Yeah, this is just for the events.sorting. So after sort, we can decide if this is a positive, this is a positive. It means we have a count. We will count it by 1. So if we put it inside our count equals to 2. Yeah, so this means our start point is still 1. But after we put 4 and 1 into our, after we check loop through 4 and 1, so 1 is a positive number. But here we also, record. So this 4 is the start point. So here the start point is 1. So we will take the minimum because we're gonna merge it. So this one means the minimum of this 1 and 4. So the start point will still be 1. But we have a count. Our count is 2. Now we loop through this 4 and 1 because now we find a positive. Yeah, if we find a positive, it means we find an end point. So our end point up to now is 4. But our count should be -1. Because for the sweep line, we sweep each point one by one, we will sweep all the points. But we have a count to decide whether we need to append the result into our result array. Yeah, so whether we need to append the start and end point into the result array. So here means our count is still 2. After this one, the count will be 1, will be minus by 1, and the end point is still 4 because we didn't find any end point yet. Now we go to this end point 5. So the end point will be updated to 5. Will be updated to 5, and the count will be -1. It will be 0. So if it is a 0, so our result array should append the start point and the end point. So the 1, 5 will be put inside the result array. So finally, we're going to return this result. So this is basically the idea of sweep line algorithm. So first, we're going to put the start point with a negative or positive value as a tuple inside our event array. After that, we're going to sort it. After sort, so the positive and end point depended on the description of the problem. If we want to merge it, so of course here this start point will be a negative because it will be always sorted first before it will sorted before this add point. Only in this way we can merge this start point and with the end point. Otherwise, if this 4 and 1 is here, yeah, it means I gonna return a result of 1 and 4, 4 and 5. It cannot be merged. Yeah, so this is only the difference. So this is dependent on the description of the problem. If we cannot merge this 4 and 4, of course, we need to use the start point as the positive value and end point as the negative value. But our description is we need to merge these two. Yeah, so this is why the start point will be the negative. Now let me go to the code editor to finish the coding. If you understand by now, normally this should be easier for the template. So the event array just need to append a tuple value of start point with -1, and event array should append the end point with a positive one. Yeah, because this is just a sign. Now we can loop through the event array. So for a point and sign in events, we're gonna check this sign. If sign is let's check the start point first. So if the sign is a negative value, it means it is a -1. So we're gonna update our start point. So the start point should equal to the minimum of start with the point. So before that, I'm going to define a start point and end point. So the start and end point should be the infinite and negative infinite. And also, I need to prepare two arrays. So I need to prepare a result array as my final result. And I also need a counter. Count will start from 0. This will check the conditions where I need to put it inside the result array. Now, I'm going to, this is for the -1. So else, so this means the sign is a positive number. Now the add point should be the max of add with the point. Finally, we're gonna check if this count equal to 0, so the result dot append with the start and end point. After that, we need to update the start and add should be equal to the same here, infinite and minus infinite. Finally, we just need to return the result. Now, from here, if it is a negative value, the start point will be updated. Yeah, but also we need to check the count, because if we find a positive number, it means the count will be plus by 1. So I'm sorry, it's not a positive number, it's a negative sign. If we find a start point, it means our count will be plus by 1, because the start point will always be arranged at the first place. Yeah, because this sign is always be negative for this sign. So the start point, it always appears a start point first and then an end point. So this is also, yeah, the same as the description. And also when we find an end point, the count will be -1. So this means before the count is 0, but when we find something, the count will +1. If we didn't find the end point, so the start point will always be updated and the counter should always be increased. When we find an end point, it will be decreased until it is a 0. It means we find something. It means we find the start point and end point. We need to merge it into our result. So this means the count -1. And here, after we merge it, put it inside the result, the start and end point should be recovered to the infinite and negative infinite value. Now let me run it to check if it really works. As you can see, it works. Now let me submit it to check if it can pass all the testing cases. So basically, the algorithm is still the same. It is n log n. Even we split the point to start and end point, but it didn't increase the time complexity. As you can see, it's also pretty fast, and it passed all the testing cases. Yeah, I mean, even the array, before it is length is n, now it becomes 2n. But for the sort, it is still n log n time complexity. It didn't increase the time. Only the difference you need to check. It always depended on the problem. Sometimes you need to put a positive one for the start point. Sometimes for this problem, you need to put a negative one first. It always depended on whether you understand the question or not. And for here, so for the counter, it means, so for example, let's try, this number and this number only first. So this start point, we find a 5 and 10. This means we find a 8. The count will be plus by 1, and then we find a 10. So the count will be minus by 1. But the start point and end point has already been updated. So we will put 8 and 10 inside our result array. Now, when we find a 15, the start will plus by 1. And when we find 18, the end will minus by 1. It means we're going to put 15 and 18 inside our result. Yeah. Thank you for watching. If you think this is helpful, please like and subscribe. I will upload more Leetcode problems like this. See you next time.